Now is the time for you to come home to who you truly are. Hey, this is Steph, and welcome to the Together Moving Forward podcast. A podcast helping 2S LGBTQI plus people embrace self love and self respect so you can celebrate yourself with pride. In this episode, you'll discover how self love truly begins and why honesty with yourself is the first step towards healing your LGBTQ identity, the difference between self love and self respect, and how both are essential to living with pride, why setting healthy boundaries protects your identity, your dignity, and your emotional freedom. Today's conversation is about stopping self abandonment and starting now to embrace your identity with real pride. Hello again, I'm Steph Vachon, and I'm a human being. Welcome back to the Together Moving Forward podcast. Embrace your 2S LGBTQIA plus identity with pride through self love. No matter where you stand in the 2S LGBTQIA plus spectrum, we are all connected. And if you ever struggle to fully love and respect yourself, you're not alone. And this podcast is here to help you. As someone who has navigated my own journey of self acceptance as a queer, I know the power of hearing voices that reflect our own experiences. In this podcast, you'll hear real stories and conversations that leave you with practical tools, fresh perspectives, and the confidence to embrace who you are with pride. To start, I need to say that I'm not a psychologist, a specialist, or someone with a college degree. I'm just a regular guy here to share with all of you and support each other. I'll share my journey, and we will all share our journeys together. We'll learn from each other how to move forward. In episode 55, we heard Ken's powerful story. A man who spent decades preaching while hiding his true identity before finally stepping into his truth. But today, this episode isn't just about Ken. It's about what his story teaches us about self love, self respect, and setting healthy boundaries. They are not just concepts, they are freedom tools. So let's talk about the three most important highlights from episode 55 and what they mean for you and me. Highlight number one: when you finally tell yourself the truth, healing begins. One of the strongest moments in episode 55 was when Ken admitted for years he didn't even use the word gay about himself. He preached, he married, he became a father, he prayed to be cured, but he never allowed himself to love who he truly was. And that's where self love comes in. Self love is not posting affirmations. Self love is not confidence. Self love is telling yourself the truth. Ken believed God made a mistake when he created him. Imagine living with that belief for decades. When you grow up being told your identity is wrong, sinful, or broken, you don't hate yourself loudly. You abandon yourself quietly. And over time, that suppression doesn't just affect your emotions, it affects your body. Ken even connected years of suppression to serious heart issues later in life. When we reject ourselves, our body keeps the score. Learning to love yourself means this: I stop fighting who I am. I stop trying to fix what isn't broken. I stop performing for survival. That is when healing begins. Highlight number two: choosing authenticity restores your dignity and inner freedom. Ken was very honest about something we don't always want to hear. When he chose authenticity, he lost relationships. He lost his church career. He lost connection with his family. And that's real. Living authentically is not always applauded, but there's a difference. Self love is accepting who you are, self respect is acting in alignment with who you are. Self respect says, even if it costs me comfort, I will not betray myself anymore. That is powerful. Can describe finally walking freely on the beach in Brazil, jumping into the ocean, living openly with his partner. That freedom didn't erase the pain, but it restored his dignity. And this is something I truly believe. Staying silent to keep others comfortable is not respect, it's self erasure. Self respect means I may not control how others react, but I will no longer shrink to fix their expectations. Highlight number three, it's never too late to reclaim your life and protect your peace. Ken came out later in life, after marriage, after children, after building a public identity. And he said something that deeply aligns with the mission of this podcast. There's no missed opportunity to be yourself. Now, here's where boundaries come in. Many people don't come out, not because they don't know who they are, but because they fear the consequences. And sometimes those fears are valid, but setting healthy boundaries means this: I am not responsible for managing everyone else's discomfort about my identity. When Ken told his mother, she cried. When he came out publicly, people distanced themselves. But your authenticity is not an attack. Other people's reaction belong to them. Boundaries are not walls, they are clarity. They say, this is who I am. I will not debate my existence. I will not apologize for my identity. And that applies whether you are 18 or 68. It is never too late to choose yourself. So, what do we take from episode 55? First, suppressing your identity will slowly disconnect you from yourself. Self love begins with honesty. Second, authenticity may cost you relationships, but self respect demands that you stop abandoning yourself. And third, it is never too late to reclaim your pride. And setting boundaries is how you protect that freedom. Ken's story is not just about coming out, it's about coming home. I'm always looking for inspiring guests for the podcast, and I'd love to have you or someone you know share your journey with pride. The world needs your story. It has the power to change lives, and your voice matters. Please reach out and send me an email today. Also, I'm now booking keynote speaking engagements. My talk is how I finally learned to embrace my LGBTQ identity with pride and how you can too. Details at togethermovingforwardpodcast.com under speaking. It is already time to say au revoir just for now. So please join me every Monday and Thursday for brand new episodes of the Together Moving Forward podcast and learn how to embrace your TLS LGBTQIA plus identity with pride through self love. If you enjoy this podcast, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode about how to love and respect yourself. If you found this episode useful, share it with a friend or someone you know in our 2S LGBTQIA plus community so you can help them embrace self love. It might seem like a small gesture, but it truly makes a huge difference. Wherever you're from in the world, we are all connected. Remember, solidarity beats hate. The more we unite, the stronger we become. Because at the end of the day, we are all equally human and we all deserve the same rights. Before we close with our weekly positive thought, I want to tell you what this one personally means to me, especially with today's episode. My experiences shape me, but do not define me. This line is everything. Ken's experiences shaped him, growing up in faith, preaching anti gay sermons, suppressing his identity. My experiences shape me, your experiences shape you, but they do not define us. Your past does not define your worth. Your mistakes do not define your identity. The years you spent hiding do not define your future. Maybe you tried to be someone else. Maybe you stayed silent too long. Maybe you performed for survival. Those experiences shaped you, but they do not define you. You're allowed to rewrite your story. You're allowed to evolve. You're allowed to step into your pride at any age. Now is the time to put your hand on your heart and let's repeat again, you and me together, this week positive thoughts. My experiences shape me, but do not define me. Yep, my experiences shape me, but do not define me. From shame, guilt, silence, and rejection, to pride, freedom, healing, and love, together moving forward. Thank you so much for being here with me today and for taking this moment to reflect with me. I truly appreciate it. See you real soon. Ciao. Subscribe now and share to uplift, empower, and make a real difference in our community.